You know you have positive and negative self-talk. We know that positive self-talk is preferred to the negative kind, of course. But are you aware there's a third kind of self-talk? Coming up, we'll be shedding some light on it because it's really important for your wellness journey. Welcome to the Wellness Champion Podcast, sponsored by Healthy Transformation Nation. We believe that your health and wellness is determined by your own self-care more than anything else. Join us for each episode when we discover and uncover the keys to self-care in today's complex culture. We enjoy helping others discover the best ways to be well. We'll be visiting the basics for self-care and ongoing wellness that enables you to not only survive, but to thrive. Wellness Champion Podcast.
What is this third kind of self-talk? You have your positive self-talk. We know about that. That's the kind of self-talk that propels you forward. You have your negative self-talk. We all know too well about that. And that's the kind that kind of works against you and holds you back. The third kind of self-talk is neutral self-talk. This is the self-talk, the conversation going on in your head that is neither positive nor is it negative. But it's something that most of us must work on. It's not an easy thing, but it can be very rewarding. Neutral self-talk isn't positive or negative, but rather it is objective. In neutral self-talk, we are just stating the facts, like this. Sometimes I fail at things, and sometimes I succeed, for example.
This is not something I've really developed intentionally, but I believe sometimes I have to talk to myself this way. Mm-hmm. It's usually after the fact, like when I've been especially hard on myself. Mm-hmm. I'll say to myself, "Oh, what a dummy," after doing something particularly inept, or I'll say "stupid" after having done something that shows my incompetence. Like you've seen me, you've probably Nicolette's witnessed me doing this, but I think that what happens in that moment, just after having been particularly negative toward myself, is where I'll then back off from the negativity. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I don't go all the way positive. Mm-hmm. And I'll just land in the middle and be neutral. Mm-hmm. I'll say something like, kind of like Switzerland, I'll say something like, I did that, but it doesn't mean I'm stupid.
Right.
Or sometimes I make a mistake. I'm not perfect.
Exactly.
That's a very neutral thing to say. So yeah, that's how I think I do practice that a little bit.
Right. There's a lot of power because what you're doing is you're taking that negative thought and you're reframing it. You're not making it, oh, yay, positive, but you're just reframing it in a way that is very logical because you beating yourself up over something that is just a small thing, there's no need to do that. There's no need to beat yourself up over the fact that you've made a simple mistake. It's something that's easily remedied and something that you can kind of get into more of a neutral space about.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not an expert on neutral self-talk by any means. Mm-hmm. And I'm just learning about it myself right now. And it is something that I want to explore a little bit more to completely understand. Mm-hmm. And I have done some research on this. And I was just wondering, have you experienced anything like that? I mean, do you do that too?
Yeah. I mean, even when I was going through a lot of changes with my mindset in the beginning, I would do walking. And even in that Instagram live that I did, I'm standing there actually walking, saying to myself, this is hard. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then I started reframing it into like, well, if I do it, then, this is something that is achievable. It wasn't like I had to go super positive, like, you're the best, you've got this, because I wasn't in that moment. I absolutely was not in that moment.
Perfect. Yeah.
I just basically was like, this is where I'm at and this is what I want to do. And this is where I need to go to get there.
I think that demonstrates, in my research that I did a little bit of research on this, and that is one of the main reasons why neutral self-talk tends to be very helpful for people, is if you're in a mindset where it's difficult for you to believe the positive affirmations, the positive talk, and you can't quite get there yet, then the neutral self-talk is a great place to land. It makes me think of when you're in negotiations, and an expert negotiator will try to find a common ground between the two parties.
Right.
And so if you have these two parties in your head, one is positive and one is negative, you got to kind of find that neutral area that something you can agree on.
Right.
Right. And so it makes complete sense to me in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, if I say, I'm a worldwide, leader, well-known leader, and I'm not at that level yet, I can say, okay, I'm not there, but what steps can I take to start my journey getting there? So it's not like I'm not beating myself up because I'm not there, and it's not, and I'm not in that position at this present time, but it's something I want to look forward to, and it's something that I'm going to work forward to. So I know that there's going to be baby steps. There's going to be different steps that will help me to get to that level. And it's actually talking myself through those different levels in a neutral way. So I'm not beating myself up, but I'm also not lying to myself and making it fake in my mind,
right?
And not achieving anything.
Because especially when we talk about affirmations, you have to believe it.
Absolutely.
And internalize it. And I love that example because, so in your example, you could say something like, I'm taking steps to become a global leader in my field.
Right.
And that is a neutral, factual affirmation that obviously you can accept.
Absolutely.
And you believe.
That's right.
Yeah. So I love this neutral self-talk. It's a great way to bridge that gap between the negative and the positive.
Because there is a big gap between the two. Because there can be a thing called positive toxicity where you're just kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of pumping yourself up all of the time. But you're not really believing that. You're not, that it's not true, but you just keep telling yourself. So where we've done affirmations a lot, when we had the room and we were running that all the time, some people didn't feel the affirmation. So it was like, okay, that's fine.
The room you're talking about is on Clubhouse. We had a Clubhouse room.
Right.
Where it was called HTN for You Affirmations.
Right. So the affirmations room, when we used to have that space, there were some people that definitely didn't feel the affirmation. So it was like, okay, so if you're not feeling it, what steps can you make to get there? And it was actually guiding and coaching people through the affirmation in a way that helps them to see that it is an achievable goal. They may not be there right now, but it is something that they can achieve and aspire to be. And we would talk through different options on how to do that. And we would support each other through that process. So that's where it is definitely that neutral self-talk helps you get through the times when you're not at the level that you necessarily aspire to be, but it gets you there. It levels you up slowly. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that it goes through, you're going through a process to get to where you want to be. And so it's giving yourself a little bit of grace, not beating yourself up because you're not there, but helping yourself and talking yourself through the process of getting to where you want to go.
I almost wish we had done this back then. So for about a year and a half, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
That we did this affirmations room on Clubhouse, and we have over 3,000 members joining us on Clubhouse for these affirmation rooms, and and we encourage you to go ahead and join us on it's a Clubhouse. The club is called HTN.
Right.
If you want to join, the thing that I heard a lot actually was people who would share with us. They would tell us that I'm trying to be positive, but I'm just not there yet. I try to give myself affirmations to help me become better at something or whatever the case may be, but I just don't. I try. And we hear it all the time. I'm trying.
Right.
And I wish we had done some more research on this back then. Because I would definitely recommend for those people who are having that difficulty to try neutral affirmations,
right,
as opposed to just positive ones. Examples of neutral self-talk, or it's just something easy like some days are harder than others. And I think my New England accent just showed there. Some days are harder than others. Some days are harder than others.
Or you could say some days are easier than others.
Or some days are easier than others, yes.
If you want to put more of a
if you don't
positive
want to show
spin.
if you don't want to show your accent.
Or if you want to put a more positive spin on it,
Right. Yep.
and where you want to stay in a more elevated level.
That's still neutral, but it kind of brings it to that other level.
It elevates it a little bit. Yeah, it's encouraging.
One that I've heard people say as an example of something which is neutral self-talk is, today I'm okay. I'm not sure about that. I guess it's,
I'm okay.
Today I'm okay.
I'm safe.
Yeah. Okay.
I am loved.
Yeah.
Those are simple affirmations that you can say to yourself as long as they are true.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm working on accepting myself just as I am.
Absolutely.
I like that
love
one.
that one. That's really a huge one, because I know from myself, I did not accept myself for who I am or where I was at. And I was always beating myself up because I wasn't where I felt or thought I should be. And that kind of mental abuse that you put on yourself over and over and over again, like I did, it wears you down. So where do you go from there? That's where the neutral self-talk comes in, because it starts you at a base where you can be like, okay, this is where I'm at. You're not looking at the past. What you're doing is you're looking toward the future, and you're looking at what is present right here, right now. I am okay. And this is the goal. These are the goals. And I'm going to take these baby steps. I can make these baby steps through this neutral self-talk, like we've just been giving these examples, to build yourself up and go through the process of getting to where you want to be and where you want to go.
It's like finding that common ground.
Exactly.
Between the positive and the negative. That place where you can negotiate between your the two voices that are going on in your head, if you have them.
Right.
With it's positive and negative self-talk. You can find that common ground between them.
Absolutely.
And go from there. Here's another example that I've heard. Feelings are not facts, and that's a very factual, very very straightforward thing. It's not positive or negative. It's just simply feelings are not facts.
Yeah, I had a hard time with that one. Because I would feel so deeply about things. But again, it doesn't mean that it equates with truth. Right. I could find out that something happened from someone that saw something, but it's not the complete story. So I'm only getting a little window of that. So making those choices based off of that information, unless I have all of the facts, then I'm just going on feelings and what I'm being told. It may not be the whole picture. I use this example a lot with my mom. When she heard that I had been hit by a car, my mom's friend ran over to my mom, but she had found out from my mom's friend from her daughter that she thought I was dead because I'd been hit by the car. Now, obviously, my friend was 7 years old, right? Yeah. My friend's 7 years old. So from a 7-year-old perspective, I'm laying there. I look dead to her. She runs and tells her mom. And then my mom's friend comes over to my mom thinking, oh my gosh, how is she going to handle thinking that her daughter's dead? But there you go. There was a fact, a piece of information that came in that wasn't true. And all of the feelings that my mom's friend was having in that moment, they weren't true because I actually wasn't dead. But for her, they were true in that moment. And that's where there's a fine line. We're having all of the facts, knowing all of the situation and what's going on. It wasn't true. I am alive and well. And she had all of these other feelings hitting her, and they weren't true.
Well, of course, at the time you weren't so well.
Well, no, I was hit by the car, but I was alive. I wasn't dead, and so according, in regard to that, I was well in comparison. Yeah. So it really makes a huge difference.
It does make a difference, where feelings are not facts.
That's right.
Just go with the facts. Yes. Now, I think that this is awesome. I love having discovered the neutral mindset. And a lot of times I've used this in meditation without even realizing that this is also a thing for affirmations, for self-talk. But I have used this in meditation a lot, where I just simply, I when thoughts come into my mind, I don't give them any weight or, I don't judge my thoughts. Where in meditation, I'm just simply letting my thoughts come in and pass through and go on to wherever they need to go. But
about the neutral self-talk, the other part about it is that I feel like there's not a judgment.
Right.
There's no judgment. in
Yeah.
in the neutral self-talk, because you're, like you said, these are just stating kind of the facts and where you want to go with what you're taught, what you're thinking about, or speaking to yourself about. And that is powerful, because if there's no judgment, then you can clearly see what's actually happening in the moment, and then make clear choices as to how you want to progress and proceed from that.
So there's actually one thing that I'm going to read out what I got from. I was on the internet, and I got from openlinescounseling.com.
Okay.
I thought this was a great way to explain it, so I just want to give this as a quote. Self-neutrality, as opposed to self-compassion or self-criticism, encourages you to let yourself notice your thoughts with pure objectivity and no additional aims.
There you go.
That was a perfect way to explain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it just goes to exactly what we were just talking about, everything to do with it.
100%.
Yeah. If you're beating yourself up and you want to improve your wellness with positivity instead of rushing into something positive that you may not truly believe, at least not yet, then finding a neutral ground may be the best way for you to go. Neutral self-talk is something that you may be able to embrace with much more ease and grace than when you try to inject artificial positivity into an atmosphere of negativity.
We invite you to join our community at htnforyou.com. That's our place for community, connection, and conversation around your wellness journey. See you there at htnforyou.com.
We invite you to join our community at htnforyou.com. That's our place for community, connection, conversation around your wellness journey. See you there at htnforyou.com.